the extended plays are really where they're getting gashed with some of these big.
Howdy.
Hello there.
I'm here, but I'm trying to. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Marie.
Right.
Yeah, it's been an issue for the Giants here defensively. They've had some get off the field, get their offense the ball. Once again, they're going 8.
So you got your road buddy back, huh?
Yeah, she finally made it back.
Yeah.
Martha gonna be on?
Yeah, I'm trying to get. He downstairs.
He made it a tough throw for Trubisky, but again, it was kind of on target. When you first saw it, I'm not sure I thought it was as on target as it is. That ball's right there, but then Miller's worried about his feet coming down in bounds, trying to possess everybody.
I thought you were in Rowlett. I didn't know you was on the in another city.
Oh,
You
what other city?
in your top of your background.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to. I'm getting work, having work done in the house, so I'm all over the place. Trying to get it done. So Daddy's downstairs. I'm ready to go get him.
Okay.
Let's see.
You turn it down.
That's loud.
I don't know what happened to Bobby. I don't know what happened to your auntie.
Yeah. So hey.
I have to forward you the message Bobby sent me. No doubt.
Oh, okay.
Well, after this, I think it's done.
Yeah, after I saying that, I'm done.
When did she send it to you?
Minutes ago.
When?
A few minutes ago.
She not there?
She's here.
But do you need me anymore? I won't come back.
I'm gonna send her one back from you.
Uh-oh. I get it.
Just to get us a little time.
You know, I get into enough trouble as it is.
Yeah. What can I say?
Yeah.
So I can come in the afternoon.
Okay. All right. So then, we got this set up, but I'm trying to figure out why they going on to the why is it not going to the
HDMI slide.
who's that, Kyle? You ain't come up here, yeah. I'm just. What's that? Where is that coming from? Well, I mean, why is that picture appearing?
I don't know if time's that long.
No, I switched it, and it shouldn't have given me because I switched it from.
Where's Jamie?
I don't know. I was about to ask.
She texted me this morning.
She texted me too.
Yes, she is.
That's Odell and Doris. But maybe I should put this one in the one with the
Hi, Jamie.
huh? What you say?
I was speaking to Jamie.
Oh, there she is.
Morning.
How
Yeah.
y'all doing?
Good.
How's everybody?
We good. How are you?
Okay, I'm doing okay.
Good. Good to
What
see
game
you.
are y'all watching?
Say what?
What game are y'all watching?
Bears. So we're watching the Bears and the Giants.
Yeah, we're just watching the Bears game. I see you. Yeah, I know you guys watching Dallas. They,
Oh no, we're not.
y'all crying about Dallas.
Hey Tony.
Yeah.
Hi Tony. Can you hear us, Tony?
I think his audio is still connecting.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he can hear now. Tony, can you hear us?
Yeah, I
Can
can hear you.
hear. Hey, Uncle Sonny. Hey,
Yeah,
and Dorothy.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
How's everybody doing?
Okay, everybody's doing. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. I was trying to watch the Cowboy game. They just came back from halftime.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what they just talking about.
Yeah. It's still warm down there, right?
Yep, you
Okay.
still feel good. It's pretty outside right now.
Oh, okay. Well, here in Chicago it's kind of cool. It's maybe about 70 degrees. Something
Oh,
like
that's
that.
not bad.
No, that's not bad. Nice and sunny. Yeah. Yeah. So everybody's doing okay, huh?
everybody's doing
Yeah.
good.
All right.
Doing good. How have you been?
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Let's see. Did did what's her name get a wedding thing? She's supposed to be getting married down there.
You talking about Rhonda?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I
I
thought
don't
you all
either.
people planning for a big wedding down there.
I don't think she knows either. Like with COVID and stuff, it made it hard like to plan stuff really well. But I mean, they got married in May
Oh,
legally, but
okay.
the wedding, I guess it's just, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, what what do you what do y'all got so far? So far, the family family reunion, family thing is your history and everything. How much y'all got going?
Well, on my end, I have a few recordings that I haven't done anything with. They've been held hostage as secret. But then I reached out to A. Rhonda about the website that she has, a domain that she has for us, for the family. And I asked her if we can format it so that we can submit stuff to it. All of us can. And so she said she can code it like that. So I'm going to start taking the stuff. So I'm recording this. And we'll put it on the Facebook as well so people have easy access to it before, because you know me, I'll hold it. But I'll download this
Mhm.
and upload it immediately. Look on there.
Yeah, people are wondering what's happened to the other recordings you've already done, you know?
Okay, so the other recording, what happened with that was the audio was so bad. Because remember, I didn't mic y'all. We just did with the cameras and the audio was horrible. So I would have to do that whole thing over. That's why I didn't do anything with that. But I do have the audio recording of Aunt Dorothy and Aunt Barbara from when I was in Chicago. And I have a few other audio recordings, and they're all in a drive. And what I was trying to do was put them in an archive on the website so everybody can have easy access to it. But this will go up immediately to Facebook. I will download it immediately right after we finish, upload it, and provide links to everybody so that we have it. And I will make a better habit of going ahead and submitting stuff immediately, because otherwise it won't get done. So today I wanted to see if we could talk a little bit about Grandma Susie. My goal is to actually try to interview everybody too. So like I want to interview each of you about your lives, and I want to interview family about people who have passed on. So that way we have archive of everybody's story. That's the goal. Now, we wouldn't be able to wait one by one, month by month. So I would have to try to find ways to interview everybody faster than that. But that's the goal. I wanted to see if we could get everybody's stories documented. Starting with Grandma Susie. All right. So the first question I wanted to ask everybody is, what is your relation? How are you connected to Grandma Susie?
She's my mother, so my mother. And I don't know if you, Doris had asked me for my grandmothers, but they passed away before I was born, so I only know my grandmother's name and my grandfather's name. My mother's grandfather, my mother's father, and my mother's mother was her father was named Henderson Reed, and then the mother was Lily Reed, far as I know, you know. So, and then they had well, say I had it written down on a list of things. What did I do with it? The list I had. And they had, I think it was six kids. I think they had 6 kids, which was Uncle Dave, Uncle Mac, Uncle Wash, Uncle Richard, Uncle Tom, and Eliza. So those were the kids that my grandmother and grandfather had. Those are the ones I missed one here. My is my auntie, but she died before I was born. But I don't I have to find out from her son's grandkids what her name was, because I don't remember. She had a son that lived in Colfax, but I don't remember. I don't know if he's still living or not. She had a son named Dee Dee, and only somebody I think remember that Dee Dee is me and Joe, because the rest of them say they don't remember Dee Dee. But anyway, that was her kid. That was my sister, my auntie's son. But those was my mother's sisters and brothers. Yeah, that was born to Henson and Lily Reed. And
Okay.
I call myself putting a little thing about their kids, because there's a long lot, have to go to it. I probably have to write it all down and probably send it to you so you can know the names and everything later on. But I have some of their kids' name, my uncle's name of their kids. So like Uncle Mac, which was not my Uncle Mac, Uncle Dave was the oldest one, and he didn't have any kids. Uncle Wash, he didn't have any kids. And my auntie that I was talking about, that I don't remember her name. I have to get it from Dee Dee's grandkids, or his kids rather. And Mac, he had four kids himself. He had 4 kids. Uncle Richard, he had 5 kids. Like I said, I have to give you all their name. I know their name, but I have to write it down to you. Uncle Tom, he didn't have any kids that I know of. And Aunt Liza, she had 16 kids. So And she had, well, it was really 17 of them all together because Uncle John had one kid before they got married. So it was 17 all of them, but Eliza had 16 herself kids. Yeah. So like I said, all the information that I have to write it down and send it. Maybe Marie and I get together and write it down so you'll know who what the kid's name and who had the kids or whatever. So that's what I have to do and to get them down, because that, like I say, that's what I can remember so far from some of them. Now, if you want to ask me some other questions about what, I can probably go, get on, get on, Papa, get on.
He wanna be in the show too.
Yeah, he's like, I'm in the show too.
Papa, get on.
So Henson and Lily is Susie's parents?
Say what?
Henson Reed and Lily Reed are Grandma Susie's parents?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know that. That's something new that I learned. Oh, and Tony, if you have questions, because you ask real good questions, just jump on in here because you always ask good questions.
Okay.
So Odell and Aunt Dorothy, how are y'all connected to Grandma Susie?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she's my grandmother. I lived with her for a while I finished, I did 1 year of high school with her. And we didn't spend a lot of time with her because then I don't have a lot of information about her background, because my mother, Fiend, was raised was raised by her grandmother. So she didn't have a lot of information either. So all I can remember is the time that the times we spent together when she would visit, So that's about the extent of that.
I didn't know that either, that Grandma Muffin was raised by her grandmother. That's new information to me too.
Yeah,
Oh, and when I'm looking down, it's because I'm writing. I don't want it to look
Yeah.
like I'm being rude.
I know.
So
Okay.
she was my grandmother, great grandmother actually. So, because Fiend was my grandmother and Edna was my mother. So, so yeah, she was my great grandmother.
Okay. And then my next question is, what is your earliest memory of Grandma Susie?
Who are you asking that to?
Everybody.
Well, I don't know. They probably, well, you would ask me that because I've been doing it all my life though. So therefore, I mean, if you want me to ask me some things about her, okay, I could probably tell you that some things about her. But Doris and Odell and all, they probably didn't know that my mother as much as I did. But well, Doris Morphine probably, because I say Doris, as a matter of fact, Morphine, I was about 4 or 5 years old when Morphine saw me.
It's you, so I ain't sure.
Yeah. So I was about 4 or 5 years old when she saw me. And when I went to Campty up there, because my mother took me up there to Campty, and that's when cause my didn't anybody know anything about me, because my mother was traveling around here and there, so therefore they didn't know anything about me at that time. So when I first saw my sister, my oldest sister, I was about 4 or 5 years old then. And that's the first time she saw me when I was about 4 or 5 years old, because she didn't know me when I was a baby or anything. did anybody know? Anybody knew anything about me at that time? So that was the first time we got when they were living in Campton. That's when I first got to know my sisters and my sisters and brothers, because my sisters and brothers, matter of fact, Morphine and my oldest brother Columbus, and Morphine was raised by my grandmother, and Morphine, and I had my first cousin Mamie. She was raised by my grandmother too, and that's so the rest of my sisters and brothers, I didn't get to see them until uh, I guess I was somewhere around 7 or 8 years old when I saw my when I saw Morphine when I was like I say 5 or 6. But after that, I saw my brothers, my brother Columbus, my brother uh, 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 Bo, well, Roosevelt, that's his name, Roosevelt, and my other brother Roy, and my sister Betty. So we wasn't raised together. I was the only one of my siblings for my mother that that, that 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 raised me. The rest of them she gave them away, and somebody else raised them. So that's their name was matter of fact, that's why their name was Boyd, because the man, I'm trying to think of his first name, he raised them because he loved kids. They didn't have any kids. So he raised them, Betty, Roy, and Bo, Roosevelt, rather. He raised all of them because they didn't. Him and his wife didn't have any kids, and they loved kids.
And who was this that raised them? What's their name?
What my sister and brother's name or
no, the person that raised Bo, Roy, and Betty.
I'm trying. His last name is Boyd. I could think of I'm trying to think of his first name, but
you said his last name was Boyd.
Boyd, B-O-Y-D, yeah.
Okay.
And he raised them. So like I say, I wasn't raised up with them. So I didn't even know them until I was about 7 or 8 years old, you know.
How much older are your siblings than you?
Say that again?
How much older are your siblings?
My siblings, well, I'm trying to think, well, they all passed away now, so therefore, I was, my sister was about, she was about 5 or 6 years older than I was. My brother Roosevelt, he was about 8 years older than I was. Roy, he was about 10 years older than I was. And Columbus, I guess he was about 15 or 16 years older than I was. So they were all also, I was about 5 or 6 years younger than my next sibling, which was Betty. And then it was Roosevelt, then Roy, and then Columbus, you know. So they were all, and like I say, they was all much older. Matter of fact, when I was coming up, I say Columbus was almost grown when I first met him. You know, he was almost grown. Yeah, that's my oldest brother.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Columbus went by Smith. His last name Smith.
His last name was Smith.
And Roosevelt was Boyd. He went by Roosevelt Boyd. Theme was Tadamy as her maiden name. She went by Morphine Tadamy. And Roy, was Roy Smith or Boyd? Did he go by Boyd?
Now, boy, now, Roy, his name was last name was Boyd, but Betty, she had her, she had her father's name, which was Rivers. His name was last name was Rivers, so
Right.
she had his last name.
Right.
Yeah, and Bo, my brother Roosevelt brother, he had boys. Yeah, but Columbus was, like I said, he was raised up with morphine and Mamie, morphine and Mamie and Aunt Liza. They all was around the same age.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Write all that down. There's a lot of good stuff that I didn't know. Okay,
He
so
had a lot of good information.
yeah, I'm like, this is some good stuff. Okay, so let me ask you this: where did y'all grow up? Because I didn't write that down. Where were you born? Where did y'all grow up?
Well, I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. That's where I was born. Now I think the rest of my siblings was born in Colfax, but as far as I know, but I was born in New Orleans myself.
And what year were you born? Well, when's your birthday?
Night, November the 22nd, 1938.
1938. The rest of the siblings were born in Colfax. Oh, Jessica, you can jump in. Everybody can ask questions.
Hi, Jessica.
I'm just like popping it off, but everybody can
Hi,
ask
Jessica.
questions.
I don't have any questions yet.
Okay. So far, we just started off with how is everybody connected to Grandma Susie, and now we're talking about earliest memories. And so Uncle Sonny is talking a little bit about like, because that's his mama, so he's talking about like the background information right now to just catch you up.
Okay, I think I need a pencil. I need a journal too. Hold on.
I'm already
Well,
on
y'all keep going.
page 2. Okay.
Does Marie have any memories?
Who's
Say
that?
that again.
I said, does Marie have any memories?
Oh, Marie.
Oh,
Hey.
hey y'all.
Hey.
I have a few memories. I remember Grandma Susie coming up here every year and us going to take that long trip to see Grandma Susie. I remember Grandma Susie used to smoke cigars and was real spunky. I didn't realize her age until death when we were at her funeral. When I looked at the obituary and found out, I think she was either 100 and 100.
I say, wait a minute. 200. I'm like, we got two kind of dreams.
No, she was 100. She was either 104 or 102. I can't remember.
Yeah.
One of the two. And A Morphine and Grandma Susie would come up to visit us, and we would go to see them. So I have vague memories of when A Morphine, I can't remember if it was in Texas or it's still in some part of Louisiana, when we would visit her. She had these big, I remember these big elephant ear plants that she had all around the front of her house. And I was a little girl, so I was intrigued by it. But I can't remember what state she was in at the time. I do remember visiting Grandma Susie in Louisiana every summer, like I said, her coming to visit. And then A Morphine would come to Gary, Indiana to visit Uncle Bo and what was his wife's name?
Vivian.
Vivian. Big Vivian and Little Vivian. And we would always go over to Gary to see them, and then A Morphine would come up and Doris would go over, and Charles is Uncle Bo's son, who was married to Little Vivian. And who else was it?
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
She liked her beer too.
Yeah, it was something strong. I remember that.
She liked
Uncle
gin.
Jack said it was gin.
She liked gin.
Whatever it was strong.
Yeah, I believe Uncle Jack said he did some time. That's how Aunt Dorothy said he did some did some time with her too. I believe a summer.
Grandma Susie could cuss real good too.
Yeah, she could.
What do y'all know about did she share any of her childhood stories?
No, not that I can recall.
Grandma Susie sharing her childhood stories.
You said her childhood what?
Did Grandma Susie share any of her childhood stories?
Very little, very little. I don't know very little, and whatever little she did, it doesn't come to me right now. Like later on, it might come to me. Some of the stuff might come to me, but no, she never really told me anything about her childhood. No.
Okay. Did she say anything about where she grew up?
Well, she was born in Colfax, but yeah, that's what she was born in Colfax. That's where she was born. That's why all my sisters, my aunties and my aunt and my uncles was born there in Colfax. All of them was born there in Colfax, Louisiana. They all was born there.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was the only one that, I mean, as far as I know, that's why they all was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so her childhood, we don't know a lot about. Now, what about marriage?
What about who?
Marriage.
Marriage.
Grandma Susie marriage. Did she get married?
No, well, she was married to, now, the only one that I know, she was married to my sisters and brothers' father. She was only married to Betty's father, which was Reed. What's his name? Rivers. I'll say Reed. His name was Rivers. Boy, what's his guy? I'm trying to think his first name.
Oh.
Yeah, but his name was Rivers. She was married to him. Matter of fact, I think what happened is when my mother left and was roaming around here and there, he got married to another lady, and when I know he probably got a divorce, but my mother didn't know anything about it. So she assumed that she still was married to him. Even from years and years, she would sign her name Rivers instead of Reed for a long time, So she just thought she was married. But I'm sure, he got a divorce, because you get a divorce if somebody don't protest it for a certain length of time. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that's what happened, and he got married to another lady. I don't think they had any kids or no. But anyway, that was the only one I know that she got married to was Mr. Rivers. I don't know. I forget his last name. I mean his first name.
See, Jamie, that's the Rivers I was talking about. I said Reed, Rivers, Smith, and Boyd.
Okay. Yeah, this is good stuff. What'd you say, Aunt Dorothy?
I was talking to Bobby. She just came in.
Oh, tell her come on.
Okay, she's trying.
Do I need to sign on so they can see me?
Oh, she can sit with you. Where's she at? She don't want to come on screen?
She's getting up now.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey.
Her own screen time.
See if I can make it.
Now I can.
Oh, do you want to just do that?
I think that's good enough.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about how she started to move around. Where are all the places that she was going?
Well, the places Grandma Susie was going when she was moving around. Them streets.
I all I know is about what the people, they told me, and she said about certain places she moved to, cause I think she lived in New Orleans for a while. She moved to Lake Charles for a while. Then when I was about about 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old, I went to Detroit, and I went to Detroit because my uncle Tom had got killed, and they was all at the funeral in Alexandria at that time, and so I went back to Detroit with my uncle, and I stayed in Detroit for about a year or so, and that's where I first went to school at in Detroit myself. But I stayed there with my uncle, but my mother gave me away to my uncle, but she decided she didn't want to do that, so she came and got me. And that's when we went to Houston. We went to Houston, and we lived in Houston there for a couple of years there in Houston. And so I was partly raised up with my first cousins, because we all grew up like Morphine kids. We grew up together. That's like the same way as my kid, my auntie. She had her kids. Eliza kid was around the same age I was, so I grew up with them too. I went to school with them too. So there, I think in about 1947, we moved to Colfax, Louisiana. And that's where we stayed there until I graduated from high school. So, and she
You
stayed.
said you went to Colfax when?
When
did you say you went to Colfax? When did y'all move to Colfax?
That was in 1947.
Okay, 19.
We moved to Colfax from Houston.
Okay. And then that's where y'all stayed.
Yeah, that's where I grew up most of my life. I grew up there because I was somewhere around 7 or 8 years old then, when we moved there, and that's where I stayed there until I was graduated from high school, and that's where my mother stayed until she passed away.
Okay. And then I was asking earlier, earliest memories of Grandma Susie. So Aunt Dorothy, what's your earliest memory?
I don't know if it's the earliest one, but one that I remember that she had been away for a while and nobody knew where she was. And one Easter Sunday, she came to the house and brought me and Rosie a lot of Easter bowls, Easter ribbons. And we were so happy, we were jumping up and down. So that's about it's not the earliest one, I guess, but that's one that I remember.
How old were you?
Oh my goodness. I must have been about 5, maybe 6.
Right. What about you, Aunt Barbara?
Stop. I don't remember a whole lot at all. I was so young. I just remember us going to visit her a lot. And of course I loved the road trips going there. But I knew she could really cook. I used to like her.
Oh, I wanted to ask about that too. Hold that thought. Cause I want to hear about this cooking. Cause I was gonna ask about food and recipes. Oh, Dad, what's your earliest memory?
I don't know that I'm earliest memories either. I just remember visiting her, and when I did visit, sometimes she would say, "Look at that boy coming and nothing in his hand," because she would to bring beer or something with you, kind of. So those are the memories I have of it. I do have a picture of her. I don't know if you can see my screen, a picture. She was at the wedding.
Uh-huh.
Wedding.
Yeah,
Yep, I see it.
Can you see that?
yeah.
So, and that's the only picture I have of all three of them together.
I
Was
need that picture.
hmm?
I said I need that picture.
Yeah, and
Your mother has one.
You know she don't share.
so I remember that, and just remembering her like to travel, I guess as well. I still see in my mind. I can still see that house on. Looked like it was 908 Church Street or something. What was the address,
That
Sonny?
was it. Yeah, that was
Uh,
it. It sounds like it. I know it was on Church Street.
yeah, I can remember that.
And this is in Colfax too?
That was in Colfax, yeah. So, that was uptown for us. That was in the town because we lived in the country. So I remember going, used to go to town. And I'm trying to remember some of her best friends, who she always used to talk about. Dorothy and Tony, you know that.
There was a lady named Tom that she used to hang out with.
Yeah, some of her road buddies, yeah.
Yeah.
You said the lady name was who?
I don't know her real name, but she called her Tunk.
Tonk, like Tonk?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know how you spell it, but she called her Tunk. And when it was storming outside, I would have to stop doing homework and we would run over to Tunk's house and ride out the storm.
Yeah.
Why was that?
She was afraid of storms.
Oh.
So she would run outside, lightning, crackling, thunder, and everything, and we would be only two outside trying to get away from the storm.
Mm-hmm.
And so Aunt Barbara, tell me about what you was about to say with this cooking. You said she could cook?
Oh yeah, she could cook real good, and she was the one that, to me, the founder of the pecan candy, Marie, that you like so well.
Yes.
That's where that came from.
I know, and you won't give me the recipe. You told me you're gonna pick.
I just go for, just whatever come to mind. I know she have done it with the back then it was the yellow can of pure cane syrup. Just cooking it. You have to cook it just right. You couldn't get it too hard, or it couldn't be too soft, or it just break apart. But if you cook it just right, it'll stick together just nicely, and it won't be so hard. I have tried it with just water and sugar. You just cook it and you keep stirring it. And they would say that, you hold a spoon, you dip it, hold a spoon up, and when it comes to a slow drip, that's when it has cooked enough. Then you put your chopped, grind up the pecans and put it in there and stir it. And you take it out, you lay it on something non-stick, just flatten it out. And then you just cut it in blocks. So I haven't tried since that last time I had some, brought some out there or something, but it's a very simple recipe. But and then you can put your own flavors in there if you want to, vanilla flavoring or any other kind of flavoring, that just a little bit, just a little pinch. Don't overpower it with flavor. With the flavoring, if you're going to use the regular flavoring, because it can have a bitter aftertaste.
You said she used a yellow can of what?
It was cane syrup. You can only find it in the country. You can see syrup in a yellow can here now, but I don't think it's the same. It's not the same as it was.
Yeah, ribbon cane wasn't. We used to call it ribbon cane, sir.
Yeah, right. That's what they.
River cane.
Ribbon, ROBBON, ribbon cane.
Ribbon cane.
She also made the best tea cakes. Oh my goodness.
Oh, so the tea cake starts with her.
As far as we know.
I know Fiend could make them too, but I remember Mama's being really, really good. And she also started me eating rutabaga.
Rutabaga.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's something like turnip bottoms. You know the turnip
Oh, okay.
bottom, but it tastes much better.
Rutabaga. I've never had that. I don't even know how to spell that.
From what I was told, we have had it because grandmother would fix them all the time, and she would feed them
No,
to
Oh,
us.
yeah, I know she would make it.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
must do.
so to me, because Aunt Dorothy had some when we went there. I don't know if the last time or before, but to me, they're like they remind me of like potatoes.
Oh, so maybe I have had them and I just don't know what I was eating.
That's possible. Because I know Rosie made them because she was very familiar with them. Tony, I have to make you some.
And me too.
Yeah, yeah, we'll do that one day. And Marie, I'm going to get back on that pecan candy.
Say it again.
I'm going to get back on that pecan candy.
Okay, okay. I think sometimes did she used to use molasses in some of it?
You can, yeah, you
I think
can.
some of it she would kind of switch up a little bit because the
Right,
molasses ones would be a little bit more firm than the other ones because the other ones were a little brittle, like a peanut brittle one, and
right.
the one that kind of almost like a pixie
Yeah,
in a sense.
and that's what happens if you overcook the syrup. It will become brittle.
Hmm.
She
What is she?
crocheted too. She crocheted
I was about to ask this. Okay, she
because she
crochet.
made us some hats when we were little for Christmas. She would always send us candy for Christmas, but she would always one year she made us hats, and you know those magazine purses that they have right now. She
Hmm.
sent those too. I don't know if she had them made at the time, but she sent those in the mail for us too. And we fussed over it because it was three girls, and she sent two purses.
Hmm.
Legacy purses. 3 girls, 2 purses. That's funny.
So she crocheted all of us boys. She crocheted all of us winter hats.
Now, what does she do for a living?
What did she do for a living?
Yeah, how she make money?
That housework she did, housework, day work, and as a maid or cook or something like that. That's what she did most of her life. He was a cook, and she worked in the restaurants. In When we was living in Houston, she worked in a restaurant there, and she was a cook there. And then when most of the job that she had was housework, and that's about all you could get because my
Hmm.
mother was my mother was illiterate. She didn't know how to read and write. She didn't know how she kept up with all this stuff. I don't never know how she kept up with the money and stuff like that. And she always has the money. She kept money. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's because all the time I remember when we had to go on vacation on the summertime. She always had some money, so we would she saved up enough money. She didn't make that much, but she always kept some money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
what
that's what she did for a living. Basically, is a housework for the white people. That's what she did. You know. So and basically, boy, that's what most of the older people did. Because especially in car factories and even in the South period, that's all you had. That's all the kind of work they would let you have was doing housework for them, for the white people. But anyway, that's what she did most of her life, and she was a pretty decent cook, and so that's what she did for a living. That all I knew she did. Anyway, we call ourselves one year. We call ourselves going to raise the sharecropping 1 year, and so we were doing that for 1 year, and I was going to school And I think one day when I came from school and I was my mother was out in the field picking cotton out there in the field, and the white guy came out there and said, "I don't know why you send that boy to school. He ain't gonna never be anything. He ain't gonna." So my mother, that's the last year she called herself sharecropping. she left, you know. Because that's what the white guy said, you know. So more than me, because half of the kids at that time, half of them wouldn't go to school until maybe around November. You wouldn't see the kids going to school till November because they had to stay home and work and pick cotton and stuff. My mother didn't want me to do that. She sent me to school, you know. So that's one year she did. She did sharecropping. I don't know if we got any money out of the deal or not, but that was one year we was called sharecropping, and she was raising some cotton and stuff. I don't know, and so that's the only time I remember she doing anything else besides housework. You know.
How old were you when you had that happen? When that man said that?
How old was I when that happened?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I was somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 years old, somewhere like that. About 9 or 10 years old.
And this is in Colfax again?
And what?
This was in Colfax?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. Now, tell me a little bit about holidays and what that was like. Christmas and Thanksgiving and
A little bit about who?
the holidays. What was the holidays like for y'all?
Well, it was I don't know when I was maybe a little when I was with my was sometime in this because we moved around so much, so therefore I had holidays with different people. You know, like I say, when I was in Houston, all my relatives there, we had holidays together, and we didn't have a whole lot of holiday with more food than anything else. That's what we had. We didn't have a whole lot of presents because we didn't have no lot of money. So we just had more food get together, and we drank and ate food and stuff like that. Was the only thing that I remember about that when I was in Houston. Then when I was in Colfax, well, we lived in the town part of Colfax basically most of the time. But when I was with my sister, you know, whatever the holidays were, we just had with Morphine, my sister, we just had a regular holiday. We you know, like I say, most of it was food and stuff. We didn't have a whole lot of presents and the things that we got for Christmas. It was mostly, well, small things. You know, we might have got a coat or jacket or something, but we didn't have anything. You know, we didn't have a whole lot of toys and stuff like that. I don't remember we having a whole lot. We might have got a train set or something like that every now and then, maybe a bicycle or something, tricycle, something like that. But other than that, we didn't have a whole lot of presents. We was just that poor. Like I say, most of it was just, like I say, getting together and having food and drinks. That's all. That's what it was all about when our holidays was.
And would y'all say that she was a religious woman? I know in the family, a lot of people are very religious and go to church on Sundays. Was she a religious person who went to church a lot?
Yeah, well, yeah, we went to church, and matter of fact, when I was living with my sister Morphine, we went to church. Uh, we went to church every Sunday. We went to church, As a matter of fact, a lot of time we went to Sunday school, but we went to church every Sunday there. And matter of fact, that's where me and my nephew Boy, he and I got baptized at the same church there in Colfax there. So that's we went to church just about every Sunday, you know, and we always laugh about the fact that we had on Sunday dinner, you know, we have, you know, chicken, and my sister will cook a good dinner and food, and we have pies and cakes and stuff like that. But then sometimes we had the preacher over, and the preacher over there, we couldn't eat until the preacher ate. so we always laughed about that, you know. You know, preacher get that each, and oh, sister, that food was really good, you know. So, and we were sitting there waiting until he get up on the table, so we could eat.
Wait, so y'all had to wait until he was finished until y'all could eat?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that was pretty common in those days. And then
Really?
the preachers pretty much they ate the better part of the chicken too. So from there, probably the chicken leg and the head, yeah, those kind of things. And
That was kind of with the children too. You know,
yeah,
we had to wait until the grown people ate. And it was just, that's just the way it was back then. Now it's just the opposite. You know, you feed your kids, and if there's anything left over, then you eat, but your kids gonna eat for today. But back
When we were
then,
kids, y'all let us eat first.
huh?
When we were kids, y'all would let us eat first.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
yeah.
hmm
So it's just the opposite now. But the fun memory I had about that was we would be all in the kitchen cooking, Dorothy, Rosie, me, and Mother, and they would do the pies and the cakes and, you know, the trimmings the day before or the night before. And we would sit up most of the night. We would probably take naps or whatever, but we laughed and talked, and I probably had eggnog because Rosa loved
She
that
loves
stuff.
some eggnog.
Yeah. So we would sit up all night cooking, and that morning they would start with the turkey and the dressing. That was a lot of fun. We miss doing that now. And that's why we spend so much in the kitchen today, I guess.
Yeah, because I'm seeing like food seems to be the big tradition here.
Yeah.
Because if there's no money, there's definitely, at least you know there's food. And so everybody comes together to make the food, to eat the food.
Right. That was
That's
our big celebration.
The other thing too, well, along with the food, there were a lot of good cooks within the family as well. So I think, you know, people didn't get most people learn to cook.
Marie raised her hand. Was that you, Marie? I'll never forget what you did with that rotisserie chicken.
Wait, what's the story?
It
I want to know the
It
story.
was still pretty though.
Was you had us
Story.
food for a minute.
Oh, well, Melanie got us real good too. Her first sweet potato pie. The crust was golden brown. It was so smooth and creamy looking. I was like, oh, Melanie, this pie sure looks good. What all did you put in it? Sugar. That was it. It was some sugar. And it was laid too. That was a beautiful pie. Get into it. That's all it was, sweet potatoes. We never let her forget that.
How old was she when she did that?
She may have been in her teens. She may have been
Yeah,
in
it's like she had to be young.
You remember the cornbread?
I was about to tell them when I was trying to make a dinner for grandmama, and I was so proud of this dinner that I made. And I made this cornbread from scratch because she taught me how to make cornbread from scratch. And I put salt in there instead of sugar. Where I was supposed to put cups of sugar, I put salt, and I didn't know because I reached in one of them, you know, them cans,
Yeah.
them little bins, so it's just white. So I thought it was sugar. I didn't taste it, and I put I think it was like a cup or something of salt. Didn't taste it. It was all just made. So it was pretty too. And grandmama had it. And it was the saltiest cornbread. But yeah, that's my story of trying to be a cook. Well, I think I've asked all of my initial questions. I wanted to go back and ask that church that y'all got baptized in. Do you remember the name, Uncle Sonny? Oh, where'd he go? Oh, he gone.
He went to the bank. He went to the bank. I can't tell you this. Daddy took Grandma Susie to prom with him in high school. That was
really?
Mm-hmm.
What's the story behind that? Do you know?
He can tell it better because he said that she did everything and took care of him. He was so proud, and he didn't think about taking no girl. He was taking his mama.
That's so sweet.
I remember Uncle Jack told me about the time he got a whooping from Grandma Susie because he was staying over there and he was supposed to be in at a certain time because she locks the door at a certain time and he wasn't there when he was supposed to be there. And she ended up beating him.
Yeah, I know when they went to pick him up, it was going like it was rescuing him from like he was getting out of jail or something.
Jamie, did you ask Jack about when he stayed with her for a while?
I wanted to.
Yeah.
I know he's probably working or something today. I want to ask him about that when he lived there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, she was an Easter Star too.
Oh, she was in the Eastern Star?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I should have asked about like if she was involved in any like organizations. So she was in Eastern Star. Was she in anything else?
She might have been an usher. I'm not really sure, but I think I've seen her. I saw her in the uniform. We went to a church, so she probably was an usher.
Was she a political person? Did she care about like politics and all of that kind of stuff?
Not that I know of.
Did Grandma Susie care about politics and stuff?
Breakfast and dinner. Lunch is on you.
Well, no, not really. No. Not really.
Uncle Sonny, tell us a story about you taking Grandma Susie to prom.
The story about what?
Well, you took Grandma Susie to prom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, I felt the reason I did that is because my mother, like I said, she was illiterate and she never been to have to go to school, and she worked so hard to try to get me through school and doing the things for me all of my life. So therefore, and besides doing that, when we was raising up money for to have the prom and that stuff like that. She helped sell stuff and help do a lot of work to help us in school. So I feel that, you know, I didn't care. I had a girl that I took to the prom, but I took my mother anyway. You know, I had a girl that I took to the prom, but I took my mother there anyway, because like I said, she had helped me out so much, and she never been exposed to anything like that. So I said, well, you know, might as well take her. She's my best friend anyway. So I took her to the prom.
That's so sweet.
Well, she enjoyed herself, you know, and so it was
She was a life of the prom.
yeah. So that's what I did, because like I said, I just want her to have something for doing so much for me and helping out so much, you know. So
Jamie also asked, do you remember the name of the church that y'all got baptized at?
who?
Do you remember the name of the church?
I don't I don't know if Doris remember the church or not. The church, I don't even know if Odell remember that church.
Is
But
it Prospect? If it was down south, it was Prospect.
Prospect?
Yeah, Prospect Baptist Church. If it was there, because that's where I know that's where Bowie and Fiend. Well, Fiend actually grew up Methodist. More she followed more the Methodist tradition.